All right. Always got to get the sound right. Still a learning process here, but here we are. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are live. We are good to go. Pretty good day. Pretty good day today. They sent a 90-year-old man into space. That's pretty sweet, right? William Shatner. And to make that even better, Captain Kirk. Right? They sent Captain Kirk into space at 90 years old. All right, they made it real. It's kind of insane. Congrats to Captain Kirk, man. Living legend, dude. Wow. Okay. I read this morning, too, a woman, the oldest person to ever go to the summit of Mount Everest was 80 years old. Okay. Somebody study that woman. Somebody get her in a lab, study that woman, all right? That's all I'm saying. If you want a super soldier, you go find that woman if she's still around, and just take every piece of advice she can give you. But yeah, here we are. It's Obe TA. We are live. It is Wednesday, October 13th. Some stuff going on in the markets that we will discuss here. As always, though, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin first. All right. So what is going on today? And let's move over to the daily here. So let's take a look. Just paying a little bit of a, just a green candle here. You're up like 2.37% on the day. It's fine. Okay. We know that we are at critical levels right now. All right. We're so happy to be above the September 7th high back here, but, this zone right up over here from April, February on to May is going to be a beast to get through. Okay. So it's not surprising that we're seeing some resistance here. And as always, I want to start it off clean, but we're just going to draw out the points of resistance on this thing. All right. Remember, the peaks and the valleys, right? The obvious ones. It's where you want to start plotting that stuff, okay?
Right.
So put it there where you see it. You'll be able to identify where you should see some resistance going back up. Now, remember, being above this point is a big deal, all right? And you would want to see this September 8th act as support if it were to sell off and come back down, okay? You are not overbought on the RSI, so nothing implying downside from that. And really, you're just back here testing this high from February 21st. All right? So, let's see if you can break through it on the daily here. Not really an edge. The positive momentum on the MACD seems to just be selling off a little bit here. But nothing bad. There's nothing bad. This was expected on the way back up, okay? And really, it's a point of May 9th and back here from February 21st. So we can just plot that just like that. All right. So you're just getting back up into the level that we suspected you would get to. Go ahead. I like to make it a little zone to make it a little bit more dramatic. Okay.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
So here we are. We've come up. We're coming to test it. Now, let's move over to the 4-hour. Take a look. See what we have going on here possibly, all right? Looks like we do have, it's close. Not really hitting bullish divergence, but you have more negative momentum going here. Could not push it below the little swing up from here, okay? So you're basically just sitting right off of that spring, which is fine, right? And you've sprung off of it. And you're not even positive on the momentum yet, right? This thing still has some room to go. Not overbought on the RSI. That's what you want to see approaching strong levels of resistance, okay? You want to see that this thing, not only is it not way overbought in the green, it's actually still technically in the negative momentum swinging back up, okay? And the fact that you came down and didn't even get below the price back here, 54,659 from October 10th, the fact that you've come and you've sprung off it, kind of treating it as support in a way, like a spring, with higher levels of negative momentum, the move up through this, it should be stronger, right? This is the stuff you want to see approaching these levels, okay? Now, if we're expecting that this is going to break through, where's the next spot that it's going? 62,000 would be my argument here. March 13th, that's the other peak. You could definitely see it get there, and then the next thing from there is the all-time high. All right, so let me show you something here real quick. We're going to dive into a harmonic here, just so, and harmonics can be a way not just to find reversals, but to also find out where a price might be going, right? Or where a good place to take some profit would be. And let me just let me draw it out here. And remember that harmonics are just an extension of Fibonacci. So let me actually real quick show you how I find a harmonic on a chart. So what we would do here, we would go from the high to the low as always, okay? Now, look for the levels here. All right, so notice that all these numbers coming down with the Fibonacci. 1, 886, 786, 618, right? So we are operating off of the swing low down here, okay? So right now you're at the 786, okay? Which is a common reversal area, but you would want to be seeing some bearish divergence or something, right? To signal that this is about to sell off. So you don't have that. You're just kind of still trudging forward, going up. About to, go test it. So what we can do though, if we expect to pass through this, we could go ahead and plot what is a harmonic, okay? So what we would do is take it from point X, A, B, C, and then go up to the 886 here, okay? So this is what is called a bearish shark. Okay, and now oftentimes we see these things flipped upside down, and you can actually do that, right? If you have a hard time kind of imagining what it looks like going up, because you're just constantly trying to get at the lows, the swing lows. Rob, maybe it will, man. Anything is possible. Welcome, dude.
My man.
But if you're having a hard time picturing it on the way back up, right, and you're just constantly getting at the lows, just flip it over, okay? And you'll see, right, would this be a good area to potentially get in on Bitcoin? Would this be a good area to buy Bitcoin down here? Yeah, if it was flipped. But it's not. On the way up, you don't want to be buying it at resistance up here. Okay, so it's literally just the inverse. Flip it upside down, buy it. flip it back to where it actually is. This isn't where you want to buy it. Now, the pattern completion zone, which is D here, is where you can start to see reversals happen, especially in areas of resistance like you have here. And this is major resistance back here, all right? Do not kid yourself thinking that this is going to blast through. All right, this is some serious resistance at this point. And what you can see is that it gets slightly above the support here. But again, that's a common area. You're coming up to that 62,000. It's at that point retraced from X down to A here, right? From the high to the bottom. It's retraced back up 88.6% of its value. All right, as far as Fibonacci's are concerned, that is a significant level where assets can reverse. All right, and again, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Traders are looking at the same kind of stuff. They're seeing these levels. They're seeing this resistance. When it's getting up into this zone, people have their sell orders already set, okay? And you just got to bank on the fact that there's more buy orders coming in than sell orders at this point. And looking down at the oscillators, again, the MACD and the RSI and all that kind of stuff, they're not implying any kind of exhaustion coming up here, right? The buyers are not exhausted by any means at this point, which is good, right? Buyers are fresh. Think of it like hockey, right? The players, it's the third quarter, and they're, about to, they need one more goal to win here, and they just got a fresh set of legs, right? They're not exhausted, coming back up to try and break through this thing to win the game, right? Okay, so that's good. But this point D here could be a real problem, again, because, dude, my dog, man. Obe! Yo! Sorry about that, guys. She doesn't have any respect for the stream. All right?
You're not that guy, Nova. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, okay? So yeah, again, point D, pattern completion zone of the bearish shark. Retrace. You have to get up to around the 113. This qualifies. C has to be higher than A. But at that zone, right around at the 886, which is its own thing, at levels of resistance, right, you can start to see this thing reverse. And that's not even a big deal. What this thing could end up just doing, right, is it could come up in here, reverse, okay, whatever, and start treating these levels as support instead of resistance, right? That's probably what you can expect to see here. So let's say it gets above here to point D and it comes down, and it's just so freaking bullish that sellers can't even get it back below this high from February 21st, okay? Because once you get above that stuff, what was once resistance will now act as support, okay? Nick, what's going on, dude? Welcome. The familiar faces have returned. Good to see you guys. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, so you get above this level, this resistance back here, you could just sell off and start to gain, some hidden bullish divergence or something and spring back up, okay, to test the all-time highs and so on and so forth. But when you're approaching levels like this is where you want to see Bitcoin, okay? Also, just to kind of further the strength here of this pattern completion zone, let me see, I had this earlier. We have an A, B, C. No, that's not what I want. I want you. Okay, remember, retrace around 618. Okay, this is pretty dang close. It's about 60% retrace from B to C. And then the 1618, which is right here. At that point, is about good right there, okay? Look how close they are. And it's a little tricky because I made this red. Let me change the color of this guy. All right, look how close D and D are, okay? So it would be at the 1618 of the ABCD pattern. It would be at the pattern completion zone of a bearish shark at resistance, okay? So the sell-off at this point, how strong it is, if it's weak selling at that point, that's just further indication that this thing is going much higher. Okay. So that's what you can expect from Bitcoin. Still going up, trying to test this zone, looking strong, looking good. I expect it to get up to point D, okay? Again, not the time to buy it. You don't buy it at resistance points, okay? The time was down here when it was showing other signals, okay? Testing support, confirming support at historical levels back here from January 9th, 2021, okay? That's what I'm talking about.
Wow, what a great audience.
That's where you want to start looking after sell-offs, right? Not after a big appreciation, okay? You'd be buying this thing at a premium. It's a one-way ticket to Wreck City, okay? You don't want to do that. Not a nice place to be. Okay? So it's Bitcoin. All right? Holding up. On its way to these zones. Looking good, man. Looking tough. All right. Kill. All right, William. I think you've made your point. Again, dude, shout out to William. This is the William Shatner stream, I guess. You know what? He could stay. He could stay. He literally went to space, okay? He played a guy that traveled through space in Hollywood, and then he went to real space, okay? So how many people can say that they have actually done what they pretended to be? I pretended to be a fighter pilot when I was a kid. I pretended to be a lion. I've done neither of those things, right? I've never dropped a bomb on anybody, and I've never tackled a gazelle and ate it alive. So shout out to William for being a real one. Cool.
Come on, man.
So that's Bitcoin. All right. The other big guy that I wanted to talk about in the crypto space today, Polkadot. Making some insane gains, dude. I mean, up, what is it, up 18, 19% on the day so far. You'll get a candle close in 46 minutes here, but god dang, man. Everything else kind of did okay. You got some up 4%, whatever. 19%. Polkadot, obviously, an overperformer here. All right, and what kind of happened? All right, we take a look down here. Again, notice, let me get rid of some of these guys. Notice again, the divergence is a powerful, powerful thing, okay? You had a level of support back here from June 2nd, which was also tested as, I'm sorry, that was resistance then. It got tested, look at this, 1, 2, 3 times as support following February through April, okay? So it got treated as resistance. It got treated as resistance here again, August 21st. You're at that level, okay? So you sprung off of it. You went to that level, also at the 200-day moving average, and then you're showing this. Look. Look at where the asset is here. Look how much negative momentum there was, and you still couldn't get the price down to those previous levels. All right? All that negative momentum, and the asset is not selling off in a strong way, okay? That means that sellers are getting kind of exhausted, like they can't push it down. The selling is not that intense, which is a bullish signal for this thing, especially at levels of major support at the 200-day moving average, okay? So when you start seeing this thing shift back towards the upside in September, they get nutty. 19% is not an everyday occurrence, but it definitely had the makings of making a move up at these levels back here, okay? Had a strong piercing pattern going on here with the candle close on September 29th. And then move on over to the 4-hour. Yep, look at that right there too again. Back from here, you had hidden bullish divergence. You can count this little body right here if you like. Okay, so technically that would eliminate the argument for hidden bullish divergence, but again, you still had lots of selling happening. Then you had a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour close here, confirming the swing back to the upside before going nuts. Right? So, and this is actually one that I had plotted out, I believe. Let me take a look here. And I put it up on my Instagram to show the progression of it. But let me see real quick here. I definitely think I plotted this guy out. Let me take a look. Dot price targets, right? We had the A, B, C, D pattern going on. Had the targets laid out, right? The buying point was at C. So it was on its way back down. Hidden bullish divergence argument coming into play. You would have bought the asset in this zone down here, acting as support from August 21st. Buy it at C, profit taking at D, the 1272 or the 1618. That's where this last target was set at, also at the all-time high. So then if we fast forward, boom. All right, all 3 targets exceeded beautifully.
Hello there.
Okay. And that's just it, man. You want to look for points of support and structures like this, okay? Because if it gets down there, very often it starts to make a wave up to D. And you would expect to see some kind of sell-off at D, but it was just so strong and bullish that it didn't happen, okay? So, that's it, man. That's the ticket right there. Don't you love when targets get exceeded, right? Take what you can and give nothing back. Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean, okay? Get back to the chart. Yep, all right, so that's Bitcoin. Looking at DOT, I eliminated the ABCD on here, but as you can also see back here, major points of resistance from historical times, right? March 3rd, March 10th, March 19th, a lot of marching going on. This is a high area for resistance, and you broke through it, right? And you broke through this previous high. I misspoke a little bit earlier. This was not the all-time high, but this was a significant high that you wanted to break above locally from that trade setup. But yeah, man, you're above some serious resistance points on this. Now, again, do you want to buy DOT right now? Can anybody answer that? Is this the time to buy DOT? Anybody? Can anybody answer that question? Does somebody want to spin the wheel? See if you're a god or a peasant? I'm gonna spin it for myself. Let's see what I get for the day here. All right. Let's see how this stream's gonna go. So far, I think it's going all right. All right. If you think so too, go ahead, hit the like button, the subscribe button. Okay. All right. But I'm gonna go ahead, spin this thing for myself real quick. Rob, just hit it. All right. I appreciate it. Help your boy out. Let's spin it, dude. Let's see what I get. Come on.
Test your luck.
No! I guess I'm just a peasant, dude. Get wrecked. That sucks. But it's okay. Alright, peasants are important too. They get down and dirty. They do all the hard work, right? We strive to be peasants in our work ethic and kings in our wallets. I don't know, dude. I'm just saying stuff at this point.
Come on, man.
But yeah, so beautiful. DOT outperforming, up 19%. Okay, and things. It's not like things are selling off, but was there some kind of event that I didn't hear about with DOT? I don't know, but technically, it performed beautifully. Okay, so congratulations to anybody that had DOT. That was not a public trade setup. I haven't gotten into that stuff yet. I will be doing that at some point. That was just for my own reference, but I want to show you that because that's how you size it up. All right, and that the red area, the green. So the green area is the profit potential. The bottom of that red zone, these things, right? You read up on it, and the bottom is where you're going to place your stop. All right, so it's the price that you put your stop, and you always want to see this number here, this risk-reward ratio at least 3. Okay, that is the rule of thumb. Remember that always, because that means you have 3-to-1 odds in your trade. All right, so you're only risking 5%. You need to make at least 15, because if you do that, your trades that lose, and they will lose, you only have to win 1 out of 3 in order to be profitable, right? If you put 15 bucks into something, or 100 bucks or whatever, you risk 5. If 2 of them lose, you've lost 10. But if the one wins, you win 15. So in the end, you profit $5. Okay, so only needing to win 1 out of 3 is much better than needing to win like 50% of them, right? Or 66%. So always try to find 3-to-1 odds, and do not shift it around to fit what you think or what you want, right? You have to be very strict with that, or you'll start moving stop losses and you'll start coming on here, oh, this stuff doesn't work, dude, what the hell? Nope, you're not following the rules, man. It's probabilities. There's no science that's going to win 100% of the time with this thing. Probabilities. Increase probabilities. Mark Douglas, think like a casino, not like a gambler. All right? Casinos take the blackjack trade game every single time. They don't care who the player is. They do not care. They do it every time. They have a 1% edge over the player. All right? Why the frig would you do something always 1% edge? Because after millions of hands, that 1% makes them a profit in the end. All right?
Right.
Cool. Been peeking at it. What's good with Cosmo? Cosmo? I don't know, dude. I never heard of Cosmo, but we could take a look at Cosmo. Where were you looking at Cosmo, man? You talking about this guy? Adam? ATOM? Is this the one you're looking at? Bueller.
Okay.
I've never heard of Cosmo, man. I have never heard of Cosmo. Oh, I mean, I've seen it on the chart, right? I've seen it on like CoinMarketCap and stuff, but I have no idea what it is. Adam, Cosmo. Okay, Cosmos. This is it. See? Yes. Cool. All right. What's going on with it? Well, let's move on over to the daily here first. And as always, let's put up some support and resistance lines, right? The peaks. February 16th is a major peak. And you want to do significant, right? You don't need to come down here and post these ones, okay? Don't make it too choppy, too muddled. But, yeah, look at the peaks, okay? Where are you at right now? Look at this price and look at this little swing right here. This level, 3253, was regarded as resistance back here on May 7th and support here on September 29th. All right, so you're currently above that level, which is fine, which is good. All right, you actually, dude, Cosmos actually is looking kind of interesting. Can anybody tell me why it's looking kind of interesting? All right, so here's the thing with Cosmos, man. And this is pretty good. Let me go ahead. I want to throw a Fibonacci on this as well, right? Just to shore up these levels of support and resistance. And what I mean by that is, remember the 618. So the 382 to the 618 is what's called the golden zone, okay? That's where you can see reversals happen a lot of the times. The 786 and the 886 are deep value areas, right? That's where you really want to start seeing assets go. That's where it starts to get really juicy. But this area, the 382 down to the 618, could also be a reversal area for sure. 50% is Charles Dow. That's more like Dow theory. That's not a Fibonacci number, but regardless, right? So you got a 38.2% retrace, right, at historical support. But what's really shown here that's very interesting is this stuff, okay? You've got all of this negative momentum going on, yet you are still above this peak back here from May 8th, okay? So sellers could not push it lower than that point. And the way I would size this thing up, obviously the all-time high. Let me look, see if there's any anything else. No, it only goes back that far. So right down here, the negative momentum is starting to wane, okay, which is good. And if you're judging it off of this, if you want to count this tiny little red here, right, and even if you don't, it works both ways though. So let's say we count that tiny red island. Remember to use the bodies for divergence, okay? But if we go to here, look at this, okay? Pay attention to this. You had a tiny bit of negative momentum resulting in a big sell-off, all right? You then had much larger levels of negative momentum, and look, you didn't even get below this point back from September 21st, all right? That is strong. That's very strong. Even with all this selling, couldn't push it down that low, and this is a lot. So this is definitely where you can start to see reversals happen. You're showing a little bit of an edge here, okay? Now what do we want to do? We got a couple ingredients going on here, all right? Cosmos, as far as the divergence is concerned, is looking okay. So on the daily at least. So let's go ahead, take a look at the 4 hour and see if we're getting any kind of help. So here's what's kind of interesting about the 4 hour. So this might just give you a shorter term idea of where this is going to go, which might either help or hurt the daily argument, right? So what we want to do, let's do a little trend line here. Okay. This asset is selling off. It has reversed a little bit. It's starting to go back up. What you're seeing as far as the divergence is concerned, a little bit of Class A going on. But here's the problem on the 4 hour with Cosmos. Just like how you have bullish divergence, you also have bearish divergence. And bearish divergence is when the asset cannot get above a prior peak. So yes, you have that negative momentum on the daily, which looks good. The 4 hour here seems to be painting a little bit of bearish divergence, okay? You have this high from up here. Now, it's still building, right? So it could get the price up above this point, which would knock out the bearish divergence. The bearish divergence is not formed yet, okay? But you do need to be careful because you have a little bit of a ways to go before getting back to this peak from October 7th. If you start to reverse below this peak, that would confirm what's called Class A bearish divergence. Oh, I'm sorry. That's actually, it would be considered hidden bearish divergence, which is a continuation signal back to the downside, okay? Because you have higher levels of positive momentum, higher levels of buying momentum than back here, but you couldn't get the price back up to that level, okay? Which could just signal some weakness with the asset. But ultimately, man, that daily looks really good. We jump over to the weekly. Doing a little bit of selling off, nothing crazy. Let's go ahead and see where that's at on the Fibonacci. All right, it's right around the 382, so it's not a deep retrace, but you're testing this point back here from May 3rd. That's very serious level of resistance. You're above it, dude. So as long as you're above that, I feel okay with it. If you fall below that, I mean, this is a strong line down here as well. I mean, you would go to 2786, 2626. All right, I would prefer to buy the asset down there. Just because if we go ahead and do a little more of a local fib, at those levels, you're getting closer to the 786 range. But if we were to go ahead, and I can show you how you could size this thing up, like let's say you wanted to get in right now. Remember where you have to put your stop. So find your first target. It would be the all-time high in my opinion. If you want to be a little more conservative, put it like right here, right around, what's this, like 41.73. Okay. Now remember, you need 3-to-1 odds here. So you have to tighten this thing up to a point where you get that 3. 295 is fine. All right, so you would put your stop right below down here at $32. And, you know, Nick, at some other time I could show you how to do stops and everything, but this is how I would size up a trade setup when it's showing a little bit of an edge here. Put the stop right below that level of support, because if it falls through that, you can expect it to go down even farther. So the stop will stop you from losing more money. All right, so you're risking 7.28 to win 21.45. The reason I put that there is just this little shoulder back here, okay, just to be conservative. All right, that's a pretty tight stop. Again, you're only risking 7%, so it's not too bad. All right, so I like that daily, man. But it's only on the MACD, really. So this thing could sell off more, get down to this level. I would like it a lot more down here. Okay. So that's Cosmos, man. All right, not bad. Not a bad area to be looking at this thing, right? You're not looking at it when it's up here. All right, and overbought, the high levels of green momentum, overbought on the RSI, right? You're looking at it, showing some divergence, a little bit selling off at levels of support, okay? On a significant time scale. Do you see? Do you see? I just want to check one more thing here. You're getting pretty close even to an ABCD pattern. Okay. Come on, let me see here. All right, so we go here, top, retrace it down, about 60%, right? You always have like a 3% swing in certain cases here. But the 1618, the 1272, if it were to play off of the divergence, I would expect to see the asset go somewhere up around the 1272. Just because at that point you're getting to historical resistance, the all-time high, right? You're getting close to $50. Would be psychological resistance. So, and it's already at the 1414, which is another fib extension. So, yeah, there could be some upside on this. Keep the stop tight, man. And if you lose, whatever. You lose 7.28%, and don't put all of your money into it, right? Proper position sizing. Okay. Don't destroy yourself on one asset. You don't need to get rich fast, man. Just do it consistently, and you can make some money in this stuff. It's pretty cool. And if it loses, just move on to the next one. All right. Keep playing the 3-to-1 odds. All right. So that's Cosmos, man. I like it at this level. I love it down here. All right, man. How was that? Is that all right? Target 4173, and then 4486. And from that point, you get a third target if you wanted to. Go ahead and just do a fib from the high to low. Stick it up at the 1272, 48.86. And again, the $50 mark lines right up on the 1414. That's where I would probably put my third target. I'd put it right on $50, right? 50 is a very strong psychological number, and it's also at a fib extension, the 1414. All right, man. So that is Cosmos. All right. How we feeling in here? Everybody doing okay? Everybody good?
My man. Okay.
All right. We're chilling, man. We're chilling. All right. There's another thing I wanted to look at today. Kind of interesting in the world that we live in. Lithium, man. This thing has been going pretty insane lately. Been doing very well. This was another trade setup that I had. I had to clean this off, actually, but has exceeded the target from the entry point. But, yeah, man, look how beautiful. Lithium. LAC, Lithium American Corp. Lithium being the stuff that is put into batteries that are used to power like electric cars, right? Which is where we seem to be going. So from a fundamental standpoint, lithium would seem to be a good investment. Okay, who knows? You know, everybody and their mother is coming out with an electric car. Lithium is going to be in high demand to make the batteries for these cars, right? So from a fundamental thing, this is about as solid as it gets in this day and age. And look at what's going on right now, right? So it was up 12%. Yes, remember that this is a stock, okay? This is not crypto. This is stock. So up 12% on the day for a stock is actually pretty nutty, okay? Not only are you up 12.43% yesterday. Today you added another 5.73, right? So you're up like 18% on LAC in the last 2 days. You know what, Rob? Sounds like you were not listening to what I teach here, okay? As far as proper position sizing, right? What did you put your money on? Would you see SHIB was going up the other day and just decide I'm going to get in on the ground floor? Shiba Inu.
Right.
All right, so, hey man, sorry to hear about your wife. Stick around. Maybe I could help you out and get you back in shape there, all right? So yeah, man, so as far as LAC, Lithium America's Corp, obviously deals in lithium. The negative momentum. Look at how it built here. Back on July 21st. Go ahead. Once again, we're looking for an edge. Looking for hidden bullish divergence. You had it on the MACD. You did not have it on the RSI back here. But, let's see, did you have it on the swing up here? Yeah, you did. All right, there's a swing low right here. August 17th, okay? So even though it's not on the MACD, the RSI will look a little different. These are histograms and the lines, but they're still swing lows and swing highs. So you don't always have to match up the RSI with where you start your MACD trend, right? So what you'll see, look, here you are at your low, and you'll notice just kind of bouncing around, right? Accumulating negative momentum, waning before moving up a little bit and painting hidden bullish divergence from here to here. All right, so really it's kind of like double hidden bullish divergence going on. But from here to here, you had it on the MACD, had it on the RSI at a previous level of what was once resistance and was once support back from February 1st, right? So February 1st it was support, and then come up here to August 16th, it was acting as resistance, right? And you came back down to test it, and you tested it beautifully. You held, this thing's gapping around a little bit, which is fine, but you started building all this negative momentum at this level, and you certainly weren't getting back down to this level from July 22nd, okay? And you held, and it's just going crazy, right? All this negative selling could not push the asset down to prior levels from here. That's strong, man. More people own LAC here than they did back here, even with all of the negative selling. All right, and then look what it does. Blew through the resistance from September 15th like it was nothing. Currently just now space, not even overbought on the daily, barely overbought on the RSI. All right, this thing could definitely have some more room to go, and the next stop would be 28.75. 28.75. Now, you could get up close to here, start selling off, test this as support, before, blasting through. That's something I would expect to see with lithium, LAC. Is now the time to buy? No. Right? The time to buy was back here when it was testing levels of support. Not when it's all the way up here, up 18% in 2 days, especially for a stock. All right? But again, that's the stuff you want to look for. And again, this has the fundamental push behind it. LAC is just a beautiful asset in this day and age. All right.
My man.
Okay.
OTRK. God, this light, I feel like it's making me a little bit blind. I'm having a hard time reading. OTRK. But for real, I'm down 13. OTRK. What is this? Let me take a look and see what that is, Ron. Let's see why you're down, dude. Oh, I've looked at this before. This is on track. What is this, a bio? This is like bio, medical or something. Yeah, dude, you are getting, right. I mean, this right here, this February 26th thing. I mean, this was obviously some kind of news-driven catalyst. Assets don't just do this. Like, it literally just separated from Middle Earth there and just dumped off. This is extreme, okay? So there had to have been some kind of news-driven catalyst. I'm sure you could tell me if you were in on it. They probably had some kind of patent that got denied or something. That's the risk you run with these drug companies that are, when they come out with something new and it's pending approval, the stock goes insane, right? But it hasn't been approved yet. And if it doesn't get approved, you can see stuff like this happening. So the bio stocks, you got to be careful. If, right. That's what it was. They lost some kind of big investor or customer or whatever it was. I don't remember the reason they did, right? But that's not good, right? You lose a multi-million-dollar client. People are going to start asking questions, and sometimes they won't ask questions. They'll just show their disapproval with their wallets. Good God. Ugh. I mean, this thing, I see no redemption for this. But look, here's an interesting thing, though. Look at this level from March of 2020. I guess this was right after the COVID crash, actually. Also tested it. Let me size this guy up a little for you. Even though this is a stock that has been destroyed and you want nothing to do with, and if you got in up here or even here and it's gapped down at this point, like buying it down here would not have been a terrible idea. Now, again, you got to move a little into the fundamental side of things. How damaging was losing that client? Okay, do you want to get in on a company that's having problems losing huge clients? Okay, you got to ask yourself that. But, right, you were testing levels that were once resistance, okay, coming down, trying to hold them as, well, seemingly holding as support, right? Trading around. Now, I don't know if people just got fed up and it sold off, whatever the case was, but I think this damage, this event right here might have sullied the name and just died off. So, again, it looks gross. I am sorry that happened to you, but here's a little lesson for you when it comes to this. If you would have had a stop in place, okay, let's say you got in here, and you even had, let's say it was kind of a nonsense stop, but far off, right? Even if it was 31% of the asset and you were trying to gain back up to this level, let's say, or from the resistance back here, you're standing to make 10% and risking 30. Even if you move it up to these levels here, 10% to make 10% from this high, right? And if you were looking at the charts, you would have gone, okay, it's trading around at the bottom here, but this is a very real level of resistance. I could expect that this would act as a barrier going up, okay? So then you would have to ask yourself, does it make sense to buy it down here? Okay, it is at support, but it also has resistance right here. So it came down. I don't know where you got in at this thing. If you got in it at the very bottom, which is rarely the case, you have an argument, and you actually would have made a nice little profit, right? But then you should have had targets set. All right, if you got down at the very bottom here, you would have been up, oh, good God, 78% in the course of 13 days? Was that 9? 9 days? 9 bars, 13 days. That makes sense. 13 days. If you got at the very bottom, right, and you're up 78%, did you take any profit? 45 cents. Okay, so you bought it in the gap. You bought it in the gap. Not really sure how you did that, but yeah, when it popped up, you saw it, and you bought it. Okay, so I mean, that's just kind of unfortunate moment, man. I mean, you literally bought it right, or you bought it. No, dude, you would have had to buy it right, like as that news came out. So that's just very unlucky, and that's the reason you want to use stops here, okay? Because this stuff can happen. No matter how good something looks technically, always use your stops. Always use proper position sizing. Don't put 50% of your whole portfolio on one thing, because they could lose a client, right? And then you lose your ass.
Right.
So use it as a lesson, man. Use it as a lesson. Sorry that you lost out so much, but stops are a beautiful thing, dude. They save you from stuff like this. It's okay to lose some money, right? It's not okay to lose all of your money.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay, so right now, I mean, is there a point in selling it now? No. You're at support, just hanging out. You've already been, absolutely destroyed down. What, 45? You got in at 45? I mean, you're down, good lord, about 81% of your money, okay? It doesn't really make sense to sell it now. Just hang on. Maybe way into the future, this thing will start to play out, all right? There's certainly no edge on the assets, showing bearish divergence signals, right? Just continuation to the downside. So this probably won't hold. And then you're going down to these levels at like $4.15, maybe $6.28. Okay, this thing's probably just going to keep selling, man. On track could just die. If you like the company, if you know something about the company that makes you want to stay in it and like it, I mean, you're 100% retraced from March 16th. Okay, so you have literally come back all the way down. You've lost all of the gain from up here, from all the way back down to this level, okay? So if OnTrack can get their stuff together, it's not a bad idea to accumulate a little more, but you're running the risk of how damaging was this as far as the operations of the company. Okay? If the company's solid, there's no negative news, it's doing well, okay, then the technical analysis should play out for it, but you always need to use your stops and protect yourself. Never put in too much money as far as the overall size of your portfolio, and you won't get absolutely destroyed, right? If you had 50% of your money in this, and now you're down 80% on 50, let's say you had 100 grand, $50,000, now you're down 80% of that, like, you're not feeling good, man. But if you were only risking 5% to try and make 20 or 30, and you got stopped out, who cares, dude? You just move on to the next thing. All right, on track. This is good for education, man. It's good. So learn the lesson. Again, you're back here at these levels. If they can get their ish together and start to present an edge, what do they look on the weekly? Well, so here's the thing, man. They're actually showing some Class A bullish divergence on the weekly. So, when you're looking at the weekly, it's a much longer time scale, right? It could take months, but the seller momentum, as far as the weekly is concerned, is weakening, which is a good sign. Okay, so these levels wouldn't be terrible to buy. What the hell? Oh my god! Wow. Okay, if you want some scale and some context, I take back everything I just said, man. What the hell? I don't know if this is correct, dude, but what is going on with OnTrack, man? You're just literally dead. And you've been dead. This thing has just been absolutely destroyed. Wow. I did not expect to see this. Okay, man. OnTrack. Yeah, that's bad. Not good. Not good. You're just in the dead zone down here. Just been doing nothing since 2010. You literally have done like nothing in the grand scheme, right? Compared to what this has done, it died. This thing died in 2007. It's done nothing for 10 years, man. It's been a decade since this thing has gotten anywhere close to where it was in its prime in 2009 and everything. So I don't know. I personally would not be touching OnTrack. even at these levels. I mean, the devastation there is just, I can't even scope it out to get the bars back. Okay, but yeah, that's on track. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Anybody else got anything they want me to take a look at? Right. This is an interesting little structure it's forming here, right? So it's almost, you're kind of, it's not a penny stock, but it's kind of moving like a penny stock. So, but you're at low risk areas if you were to try and add on to the position. Okay. Let's take a look at Ethereum, the little brother of Bitcoin. Okay. As we mentioned last time, you're catching a little bit of support here, which is cool, right? You are showing some bearish divergence. Okay, this would be if you can't get above this peak here from October 8th and you start to sell off again, you would confirm some class A bearish some hidden bearish divergence, which would signal a selling off back down here. Okay, but as we discussed, you may be forming an inverted head and shoulders. Okay, so the head, the left shoulder, the right shoulder, which at this point, if you started to paint that and come down, show the shoulder, and break this level, break the neckline, that's what this is called right here, then you could expect to go test 4,045 again before running to the all-time high. I think Ethereum, honestly, as long as Bitcoin keeps doing well and doesn't absorb it too much, right? If it just keeps doing these little 3%, 4% a day, I don't see why Ethereum isn't at 5,000 by the end of this. Maybe not even the end of the cycle, but 5,000 seems very likely for Ethereum. All right. Crypto in general just looks good. When Bitcoin looks good, crypto looks good. That's just the way it is. And when Bitcoin looks bad, crypto looks bad. All right. What else? What else, dude? Oil. Take a look at oil real quick. All right, gas prices have been going up as far as the stock is concerned, right? We're begging the Middle East to up the reserves of oil, okay? So much for being energy independent, but hey, I guess these things take time, right? We're building back better, right?
Come on, man.
So yeah, we can go ahead and take a look at maybe where gas and oil are going. Okay, and which one was it? I believe it's UNG, United States Natural Gas Fund, right? So this is like an ETF of a bunch of different gas companies, which gives a good idea of the sentiment in the market as far as gas is concerned. And I don't know if you can spot it off the bat here. Does anybody in here want to try and tell me what this is? All right, it's what we've been talking about this whole time. It's probably what I talk about more than anything else as far as finding an edge. What does this look like? I'll give you a little bit of a hint. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but what's this? Rob, what is this?
Don't be rude.
Can anybody tell me what this is?
Wow, what a great audience.
Okay. This is hidden bullish divergence. All right. Lower low on the oscillator. Lower low on the oscillator. You got it on the MACD and the RSI on the daily. And look what you're starting to do, right? You're starting to pivot back towards the upside. Looks like a graph. Rob, that is correct. Technically, it's not wrong. Okay. But you are developing higher low, and you're actually at this last little peak here, which could act as some resistance, but with the hidden bullish divergence starting to play out, you should blast right through that. Okay, that should not be an issue. This level right here might be a little bit more of a problem. Regarded multiple times. February, and these are very historical from years ago, 2018, right? Tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. All right, tested as resistance here. Okay, so you are at a very significant level historically, showing hidden bullish divergence, right? Continuation to the upside. And this asset has been strong, right? Look at this. It's got a beautiful curving structure going on here. Okay, coming back up to these levels, and you can bet that there's going to be some selling pressure up here. Okay, I mean, look, you haven't been this high since November 12th of 2019. Okay, so almost 2 years ago. you haven't been this high on oil. Sorry if you have a drug problem.
Okay.
Drugs are bad.
Okay.
All right. So you're the highest level that you've been at since what I say, November of 2019. Okay, significant stuff showing hidden bullish divergence. All right. So if you could break above that, I mean, there's a lot of resistance going on here, but here's where you're most likely going with gas. Okay. You're going to come back up, test 22.24. All right. If you break above 22.24, yeah, you're most likely going up to 24.44. All right. So again, now would be an interesting time to get in on the United States Natural Gas Fund.
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
Okay, and the way that you could target this thing out, right? Since it's starting to develop the hidden bullish divergence, right? If you were to go ahead and buy this asset now, place the stop right down here below. Okay, risking 8%. See now, okay, this might not be a trade we want to take. We would want this thing to get at least up to this level here at 24.44, right? And now with this resistance showing up here, there's a chance that this thing doesn't get there, comes up, sells off. Okay? And at that point, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you would know whether or not you really want to take the trade. This is a smart place to put a stop, right? Because it's a swing. If it comes down, breaks below that, or rejects from here, you would sell. It would sell off again, and you would only lose 8%. But this high, this little peak right here, this is definitely going to be an area of resistance. You got to be realistic, move your target down there, because that's probably where you're going to find the resistance, right? Now, what are your odds? 1.71. Okay. So yeah, you're showing the hidden bullish divergence. Cool. That's fantastic on the daily. The 4-hour is actually playing some Class A bullish divergence. So this little local reversal signal, because then you have less. You have a higher low on the oscillator with lower lows in the price. Bullish engulfing candle showing up on that 4-hour right there. Okay, so that looks fine. But if it rejects at these levels and comes back down, could sell off even further. Okay, so this is realistically what the first area of major resistance would be. 14% risking 8, 1.71 risk to reward ratio. You move along, man. You move along. Okay, this might go up and then develop some other area where you have just better targets and can find the 3-to-1 odds, but as of right now, for you don't have that, okay? So don't cheat yourself and go, well, I think, though, it will probably get up here. No. All this resistance right here, you're testing resistance literally right now. Now, you've got the bullish engulfing with the divergence and everything, which is good, so you'll probably break it, but you haven't tested this yet, okay? So confirm a breakout of this, come back, retest it, and at that time, it could start to develop an edge, right? And that's where you'd want to get in, okay? So I wouldn't take the trade on right now. Even though fundamentally gas looks good overall, if you were doing a long-term play or something, right? You know, much longer than a couple weeks, let's say. You know, electric is coming down the pipeline, right? So how much longer is gas going to be in such high demand? I don't know, dude, but that's it right now. Divergence, the film. I think that I've seen that. I honestly can't remember if I've seen it. Good one, though, dude. That's not what I'm talking about, all right? Could have been a solid flick, but hey. The S&P 500 doing nothing, right? Up 0.3% on the day. Wow, fantastic.
Right.
Fun stuff, right? Still kind of selling off. Still probably going down to this level here at 4,231 before catching any kind of support, moving back up, right? Just, it's confirming resistance points, okay? Not showing any kind of divergence, any kind of edge on the daily, on the 4-hour. Good God, dude. Look at all the selling on the weekly. Now, this is kind of interesting, though, because as long as you stay above this point back from June and start to pivot back up with all of this negative momentum, you could develop some hidden bullish divergence, a continuation to the upside, and just keep this thing moving, man. And I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Okay, remember, I'm the money printer, and they're voting on raising the debt ceiling. Wow, what a shock. They don't want the debt ceiling to collapse on their head and be the ones remembered throughout history that had the debt ceiling collapse on their heads, and that's why every single politician raises the debt ceiling, so it's a never-ending cycle until the interest on the debt actually outweighs GDP, and we can't afford it, right? Are we close to that yet? I don't really think so. But what are we, $24 trillion in debt at this point? Like, who cares? Raise it to 50. Who cares at this point? Oh, God, dude.
Come on, man.
All right. Airlines seem to be selling off a little bit, down 2.46%. That's because everybody's going on strike, huh? Below the 200-day move. Well, this is on the weekly. Let me look at the daily here. Yeah, no help on the daily, really. You might start to develop some hidden bullish divergence if you can start to swing before getting back below $22. This, again, this is an ETF. This is all the different major airline companies out there, so it gives an idea of the overall market. Not going to see crazy, 20% swings and stuff in this usually, but yeah, I mean, again, we talked about it last time. Doesn't seem to be affected too much by these doom and gloom stories of pilots leaving in droves and nobody can get on a plane, right? So yeah. What else? Anybody have anything else that they want me to take a gander at? Time is it? 7:58.
5 minutes remaining.
Crypto's candle close. Oh, coming up in a minute, actually. So let's take a look at what kind of daily candle we'll get. Let's do a little candle analysis, right? Japanese candlesticks. One of the tools that we use in the sandwich, one of the ingredients, okay? Not quite a bullish engulfing. Let's see if we can get it above, right? A bullish engulfing candle being the real body of the candle here. This bottom, you're at the bottom of this previous red one. This green, we need to get completely over the top of that red body, not the wick of the body. And if you can close above that, that's a bullish engulfing candle. In this context, whatever, you want bullish engulfing candles down here, like this one, September 22nd, after a sell-off. That's a valid, according to Steve Neeson, bullish engulfing candle. The signal reversal to the upside. You get them up here, it's just confirmation that people are still buying the asset. It's a good signal. It's not a bad one. But this, if you don't close above it, you're kind of showing a little bit of like a tweezer top almost. And you just closed, okay? You did not form a bullish engulfing candle, but it's not a bad candle either, okay? Not really even an indecision. Almost a hanging man. You kind of got almost like a double hanging man going on here. But look, I mean, switch it. Let's see what it's doing on the hourly here. It's starting to sell off a little bit. Do we got any kind of bearish divergence? Nope. Getting over this peak here eliminates the bearish divergence conversation on the hourly. Should bleed into the 4-hour, okay? So no signs of reversing on the shorter time scales. Okay. You painted a bit of a kind of just indecision spinning top on the 4-hour here. Just confirm that. So indecisions at the top, especially coming back up to test a level maybe as resistance. Not the best sign, but it's fine. It's fine. That's looking like real kind of in-depth at it overall in this little local area with the higher levels of selling, but you couldn't get it below these levels back here. It's fine, man. Hidden bullish divergence still playing out. So a lot of room to go up, not overbought, right? That's good. Gold, Rob, you want to take a look at gold? We could take a look at gold, dude.
I love gold.
Let's take a look at gold. XAU. Oh, gold doing things. What are you doing? Where'd you sneak up from? I didn't even see this. Well, up 1.87%, but hey, for gold, it's doing something. All right, you came up, you kissed the 200-day moving average. Okay, potentially treating that as resistance. You're also at, let me see here. I had that line plotted for a reason. Yeah. Look at where you're at, okay? I mean, this is important. So pay attention to this. If you were thinking about buying gold, all right? 1, 2, 3. Thrice times it was treated as resistance. This exact price, okay? 1,792. That is exactly where you are right now. And not only that, the 200-day moving average is also right there, okay? So you've got the resistance of the 200-day moving average on the way back up. You've got the resistance of a major area of resistance historically. You better hope to God you're painting some kind of divergence or something. You had some Class B bullish divergence going on. It's the same low in price with lower levels of or higher lows on the oscillators, I guess, right? So Class B being weaker than A, not fantastic. You're slightly above where you were here. So if you start to shift at this point, now here's the thing with gold. You do not want to buy gold right now, okay? You are literally testing resistance as we speak, okay? Major resistance, all right? This is not like a joke of resistance. These were very discernible peaks back here, okay? So throw the 200-day moving average on top of it. So let's go ahead and let's see how you're doing with it. You're above it on the 4-hour, which is fine, but you're overbought on the 4-hour. Not by much, but you're overbought on the 4-hour. So how much juice does this thing really have to break through major levels of resistance? It doesn't. It doesn't have a lot of juice left in it, right? How much higher can this thing get overbought? To 90, which hasn't happened with gold, good God, since February of 2020. Okay. And it's already starting to curve down a little bit, right? So it might be selling off a little, right? This is not what you want to see at major levels of resistance, all right? So, sorry, Peter, you don't want to buy gold right now. I wouldn't say to buy gold right now. Wait, see if it rejects, sells back off, okay? And then just keeps friggin' staying in this range here. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. All right, gold is a snooze fest right now. Maybe a cataclysmic event stock market, right? That's when it should go up, should be a hedge against the stock market. Cool. Go out and buy real bars of gold. Go out and buy real coins, right? You don't want to be buying this, okay? As I stated before, on gold, you're at the exact same level. If this was a hedge against like inflation or something, you're at the exact same level you were back in October 8th of 2012, okay? So 9 years later, you've got this amazing hedge against inflation. It's at the exact same spot it was. So you have 9 years of inflation that have devalued your money with the same amount of gold, right? And the gold hasn't done anything. So really, if you had 100 grand in here, 9 years at 2%, basic dumb math in my head, I don't know if this is even correct, but that's 18% of loss on your money year over year. So you lost 18% of your 100 grand. $18,000 is essentially gone in the wind, the inflation wind, if you had all your money and held on to it in gold over the last 9 years. Okay. Now you are coming towards the apex of a little bit of a structure here, right? This is kind of just like a symmetrical triangle, a little bit of a wedge maybe. It's not a descending wedge. So you could see some kind of movement here towards the apex, but it doesn't look like it's going to be bullish, in my opinion. So that's gold. And this is silver. Silver just selling off a little bit of Class A bullish divergence that was playing out. Kind of just making lower highs. But you're at support back here from September 22nd of 2020, okay? So that's kind of interesting. Let me see. Are you at any kind of harmonic structure? I mean, you're at 100% retrace, so not really a harmonic going on here, but 100% retrace. You've sprung off, back testing it, hopefully holding it as support before maybe running up to $24. Okay, and then you have the 200-day moving average above you again. So the precious metals right now just not being that precious. Ugh.
Okay.
All righty. Anybody else? Anything else? Anybody got anything to look at here? Go ahead. I'm going to move back to Bitcoin. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I had for today. I've been live now for about an hour. 8:07, right? Been online for a little bit more than an hour here. So I talked about what I wanted to talk about. I hope I helped you guys out. I hope you learned a little bit of something. That's pretty much it, man. Thanks for stopping by. As always, I appreciate the support. To go ahead, if you haven't already, hit the like button, the subscribe button. Okay, go follow the Instagram. They're over there. Instagram. I'll put some trade setups when they start coming through. Follow the Twitter. Jump in the Discord. That's where I have all the educational content. But yeah, man. Good session. Appreciate you guys stopping by. And remember to always stay technical. All right, guys. Peace.
Okay.
Are you not entertained?
My man. Coming at you.